Hello, thank you for clicking on the video. As you can see, today we're going to be discussing Deliver Us from Ava. As per usual, if you don't like spoilers and you've never seen this movie before, you should jump off here, go watch it, and then come back. If you don't care, then we move on. This is actually one of my favorite throwback movies. I feel like it was done very well, and it had a good cast, and they worked well together, in my opinion. But basically what goes on in this movie is there is four sisters, and three of the sisters are in very committed relationships. Two of them is married, one of them is in a long committed relationship, and the men in their lives are upset because the eldest sister is just in their way for a multitude of different reasons. Like, they all have their own reasons of being upset of how she's dipping in their business. And so what they choose to do is hire a guy to basically convince her to leave town, and it just goes very, very wrong. Now I feel like the married guys had valid reasons of why they was frustrated with Ava. And let's talk about those two, Timothy and Darrell. So Timothy was married to, I think, the second oldest or the third oldest. Her name is Karina, and she's played by Essence Atkins. And Darrell is married to Megan Good's character, whose name is Jackie, I think it is. And their issues with Ava jumping in their marriages is for Karina and Timothy. He's ready to have a baby with his wife. They've been married for 3 years. You know, he's ready to evolve their family, right? And which is valid. And every step that he's trying to take with building a family with his wife, Ava is like, here's some statistics, you shouldn't do this, and it's just a problem. For Darrell, he just wants quality time with his wife. It's actually quite adorable because they're so new and so young and so adorable, and these two genuinely care about their wives. You can tell, like, they want to do family stuff. They want to just love on their wife, and Ava is like, well, they're not doing good enough, or this is wrong with them, that is wrong with them. Like, there's a whole point where Timothy is just drinking like one glass of like a beer or something, and she tells his wife, Karina, she says, well, his dad had a drinking problem, and one drink can lead to more, and if you do have a baby with him, it'll come out talking about where's the liquor at. Like, it was so ridiculous and so unnecessary that, and she took, like, these girls, they take Ava's word on everything. So she immediately went over to him and snatched his drink out his hand. He was chilling. He was not doing nothing. He was not bothering nobody. He was just chilling with one little drink. And she was like, nah. Mind you, she was telling him she didn't want to have a baby because Ava didn't think it was a good idea to have a baby right then and there. So why do you care? If you don't even want to have a baby right now, why do you care if he has one drink? Okay, and Darrell, like, he was like, so, bro, he just wanted to cuddle with his wife. Like, he genuinely was mad. Like, she was explaining the difference in why they interact, like, when she's interacting with her sisters versus interacting with her husband and, the other men that the sisters are in relationships with. And she's like, well, it's like apple and oranges. He was like, I want to be an orange. Like, he didn't care. Like, mind you, Timothy and Darrell did not care about their money at all. Like, the only one who was talking about their trust fund was Michael. He was a problem because now mind you, Michael is a cop. Keep that in mind. I just want to point that out. Michael is a cop. This man, the very first thing we see him talking about is the sisters' trust fund, which was set up by Ava after the parents died, I believe, or something like that. Because Ava was like 18. She's, mind you, she's the oldest when the parents died. She wanted to make sure that the sisters were secure. So she set up this bank account so that it would create money over the course of time, and she was putting money into it or whatever. And this man only cared about that. Like, Timothy and Darrell never actually talked about this money. They didn't care. The only thing Timothy cared about was having a baby. The only thing Darrell cared about was feeling more closeness with his wife. That's it. Like, he just wanted to spend quality time with her. Like, he genuinely got mad that he got called out of his bed from cuddling with his wife at one point in the movie. Like, so that's it. This dude was on some weird BS, and I genuinely feel like he was scamming the fuck out of Bethany, which is the third out of the four sisters that was in a relationship. I think that he came into her life strictly for that money, and I feel like I think I saw like a video of somebody talking about this before, and it was like, you know, he probably looked them up in a database or something and found out about this trust fund and went after the sister he could get because the other two was married or whatever, right? I feel like, you know, that's definitely what it was. And what pisses me off, cause I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but this pisses me off because he proposes to Bethany at the end of the movie after Ava says she and the sisters divided up the trust fund between each other. Then he wanted to propose. This is my thing. I feel like he been had that ring up in his pocket waiting for that information. Because why you wait until you know she got money? Like, apparently it was a lot of money in this bank account, right? So why do you wait until that very moment to decide that you're ready to propose to her and get married? You want that money. And the fact that she ain't peeped that is crazy. Like his whole thing was, this is the only thing he complains about, being able to spend the night at her house and getting their money. Mind you, the two men that's married to the sisters already is not worried about this money. Why is the man who is only dating one of the sisters caring about this bank account? Why are you constantly bringing it up? And he was bold as hell too, because he brought it up to Ava at one point in front of all the sisters. Like, oh, we need to talk about this account. We need to talk about this trust fund. Why do you need to talk about it? It literally has nothing to do with you. It's not your money. Like, so yeah, I feel like he was scamming the entire time. Mind you, again, this is a cop. He literally has Timothy and Darrell commit crimes with him because they literally lie, which I'm pretty sure lying about someone being dead is against the law. I think it's some form of like fraud. And also, mind you, they kidnapped that man. So that is also another charge. Like, and he's the police officer here. He's supposed to be upholding the law. Also, like, I don't know if this is actually a crime, but he hired Ray. He saw him and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't understand why he was like, well, this dude is a player. Let me see if he'll accept this money." Like, that was his first thought. Let me pay him to convince Eva to leave or whatever. The fact that Ray went with it so quick was kind of like, okay, do you do this often, my guy? But, you know, I digress. But yeah, it was Michael's idea. And this is my thing. Ava was very much so overstepping when it came to the two married couples, because she literally walks in the room on Darrell and Jackie. And that's just too much overstepping of boundaries. And again, they hung on to every word that she said, so she could say whatever she wanted to say, and they were going to be like, well, Ava says, and then go completely against their marriage, right? But this guy was not married to them. So, and she really wasn't overstepping in their relationship. I think the only time where she really overstepped in their relationship was when he went to get the fiber from his girlfriend, which, you know, she works at a beauty salon. You know, they gossip, they talk shit. Like, why you have her holding that shit at that place, like, is beyond me. Like, obviously they was going to talk about it. So you can't be embarrassed when somebody makes fun of you. And that's what Ava did. And, you know. But this is my thing. She didn't really overstep for real, because you're not married, and the only thing you really care about is being able to. I was wondering, right? He wanted to spend the night at Bethany's house so bad. I was wondering if maybe he was hoping that she had some information about the trust fund, and he was trying to just snoop through her stuff while she was asleep to see if he could get any information on that. That is a possibility. I just had that thought just right now. So yeah, I'm wondering if that's what it was. But when he hires Ray is down. He's like, yeah, you know, I'll do it. Now, at first, he does say no. He says no at first. But he says yes because he actually sees Ava in action when she's doing her health inspection. And he was like, oh, she's a tough cookie, you know, and players gotta play. So he wants to be the top player of them all. Stupid ass shit. Any freaking ways, what ends up happening is he messes up the first date. Like, they butt heads. But he, like, likes her. He likes the fiery energy. She brings something that I don't think he was used to. It's very easy for this guy to, you know, get women. They want you to believe that. I guess at one point, Il Cool J was just that hot of a commodity. Not my cup of tea, but okay. But yeah, so, you know, I think it was the fact that it's so easy for him to get women that she was a firecracker, and she wasn't just about to be with him. And I think that is what really attracted him to take them up on the offer. On top of that, he was saving up money to try and buy a house, so he was like, well, this is an extra way of getting money. What happens is he ends up falling for her pretty quickly, because they just, you know, they learn one another a little bit, and they're able to open up with one another, and I think a way he was not able to open up with any other woman. And so I think him being able to feel that comfort around her definitely helped him to fall for her a little bit faster. This is the issue, because at first this was a good thing for the three guys. Like, Michael gets to spend the night at Bethany's house. That's what he wanted so badly. And Timothy and Karina are actually discussing having a baby, and Darrell is being able to cuddle with his wife. But, you know, once Ava establishes a real relationship with Ray, he is now a problem, because he is being influenced by Ava in a positive way as well. He's actually ready to settle down. He's ready to take an actual stable job. He's looking to buy a house where she is, not where she's trying to possibly go. You know, mind you, when he took the job, Michael told him to convince her to leave. That was the whole point. Now, they didn't know she had a job offer on hand. Only the sisters knew at first. They didn't know she had a job offer on the hand until Ray got real comfortable in the relationship with Ava. And they both are being influences to the sisters now, because they're like, well, my sister has this stable relationship. Now it comes back to Bethany telling Michael, well, Ray and Ava don't spend the night with one another, and they have a very healthy relationship. And all of a sudden, Karina doesn't want to have a baby anymore, because Ray or Ava, one of them, told her that, you know, it's just something that you can't give back. It's a very big responsibility. And so now she's second guessing it again. And, you know, for some reason, Darrell can't cuddle his wife because Ray drives a truck. So Jackie wants to focus on school. Didn't understand the correlation there, but she's the youngest. She can make whatever correlation she wants, because sometimes the youngest just don't be making sense. But yeah, so now Ray is also a thorn in the side, and this is a even bigger issue for Darrell because Ray is an orange. He not an apple, and Darrell wanted to be a motherfucking orange. And he wasn't. Mind you, this how you know Michael was such a big problem in this situation, because we see during one of the transitional scenes where they show like multiple, I don't know what it's called right now, it's at the tip of my tongue, but when they show like multiple different things happening at once when music is playing, and when they singing in church, this man is Ray is in the choir now that fast, and Timothy and Darrell don't care. Like, they jig into the music, and Michael is pissed. He's mad. He been mad, okay? And so, yeah, he actually falls in love with her, and he actually tried to tell her a couple different times the truth, but I don't think he knew how to say it, because he's like, I really want this one. I feel like what he should have did is told her earlier on, and the very first time that he was gonna tell her, that's when he should have told her, because she probably would have been more open-minded and been like, she would have been upset, but she would, like, mind you, he was gonna tell her after he showed up Lucius, okay, because Lucius tried to embarrass the fuck out of that girl. He showed him up, and she was really, really going for him. So in that moment, that would have been the perfect time to tell her, because she's already smitten with you because you just showed up her ex. You tell her the truth, then she's gonna be like, okay, well, at least he's being honest, and I still want, I'm kind of hot in the pants for you right now because you just showed up my ex. You know what I mean? So it probably would have been a little bit better to tell her that early on rather than waiting, and waiting did just lead to more issues. I mean, I guess they figured it out in the end, but she was really not fucking with him. Now on to Ava, because they was trying to make it seem like she was so bad. Did she overstep boundaries when it came to her sisters? Yes, but she did that because she was their parent. Yes, the parents died when she was 18, and she had to raise the rest of them. I don't even think she was able to go out to college because she had to go and work. And this is the issue with Lucius. I'm going to mention it real quick. He tried to, like, play in her face with his wife or whatever, and this how you know, like, he was just, like, still hurt over the situation. He had the nerve to say, did you have to go off and work for your sisters or something like that? Like, why is that an issue for you? You know that she's the only, like, if she don't step up, her sisters are probably going to get lost in the system or something. So she chose to take responsibility in a situation she didn't necessarily have to. She was already an adult. She wasn't going to end up getting lost in the system. She chose to take responsibility and make sure her sisters were okay, and instead of supporting her, you broke up with her because she couldn't spend all of her attention on you. How freaking insensitive. How narcissistic almost. I don't know if he was necessarily narcissistic, but it's giving those vibes. He was definitely a fucking asshole to try and play up in her face when she didn't do anything to you. She cared about her siblings, which is what you're supposed to do. But I digress. She sat up here and she treated them not like siblings, but she treated them like she was their parent, because that's what she had to be. And if you know anything about parents, parents will often overstep boundaries. They will give their opinions when nobody asks. And if you look up to your parents, you're going to take their advice seriously. Even if you don't always use their advice, you will consider it at least. And the sisters really looked up to Ava, and she was an inspiration for them, and she was their safety. And so yes, they did listen to her advice as often as she said it. And because she was so used to being that protector and being that mother figure, she felt very comfortable overstepping boundaries. But I don't think that she did it in a malicious way. You know, like with Lucius breaking her heart, and on top of that, she had to step up and take on this huge responsibility. I think she just became a little bit more hardened, and she just didn't play around. And she didn't want her sisters having to go through the same heartbreak that she ended up going through. And so she did make it hard on every man that crossed all of their paths. You know, um, I think that she was actually a pretty good sister. This is the issue, because the fact that nobody realized that Michael was a fucking problem. Like, girl, you being hard on all of these men, and this particular one keep bringing up y'all money, and he ain't married to your sister. Red flag should have been popping the fuck off. The fact that she told him, like, all of the brothers, all of the siblings and their spouses were there when she said it, but she was looking at him when she said it. And I don't know why she felt the need to tell him that, because he had no business caring about it at all. Now, back to these crimes that these men committed. They kidnapped Ray and told her that he was dead. How traumatizing. This woman passed out when they told her that Ray died. Because, trauma alert, her parents died. Like, why would you do that? She already has people that she's cared about die in a pretty early state of her life. Like, why would you think the best thing for you to do is to kidnap her boyfriend and tell her he died? Make that make sense. That was the worst plan that they ever came up with, and the fact that Timothy and Darrell went along with Michael's plan is crazy work. And I think it was more so them scared of the truth coming out, because they're like, our wives are going to be so angry. But, like, the truth is going to come out sooner or later. And how dare y'all be mad that he fell in love with the type of woman that he needed in his life to find the type of stability that I think he always longed for, but didn't really know how to grasp it, because, again, he was a little floozy who slept around with every woman that came across his path. And she didn't make it easy for him. And she was someone real, you know? And how dare you take that away from her, because she's happy. And they find out that she has this job opportunity, and she is considering not taking it because she's falling in love with Ray. And they was like, oh, let's just take her happiness away, because now her and Ray is a problem. Miss me with that bullshit. Like, actually miss me with it, you know? That's pretty much all that I have to say about this movie. Yeah, I just, Michael, I just didn't like his fucking character. I'm gonna be completely honest. He was a fucking snake. I do not think that he was genuine about Bethany. I genuinely don't think that girl should have been that excited when he proposed. Like, the timing was weird, and it didn't feel genuine at all. And I definitely wouldn't have married his ass, because it's some sketchy ass shit going on. And you the one that introduced everybody to Ray, mind you. I would have been like, something off here, because this gotta be all you. Like, all you. The fact that he was a police officer committing all of these damn crimes and frauds and all of this shit. Okay, like, I wonder what else corrupt shit he was doing as a cop. Like, but I digress. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. You know, the movie videos is usually a little bit longer. It is what it is. They're movies, man. But, yeah, if you made it this far and you watched the movie, why don't you tell me who was your favorite couple throughout the movie? With that being said, until next time. Bye.